Welcome to the CXR channel, our premier podcast for talent acquisition and talent management. Listen in as the CXR community discusses a wide range of topics focused on attracting, engaging, and retaining the best talent. We're glad you're here.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Career Crossroads podcast. In this episode, I've got in front of us a recap. We just wrapped up with our first operations meeting of the year. I have two fantastic members from our CXR community. I'm going to let you introduce yourselves. Tamika, why don't you tell us who you are, your title, and the organization that you work for?
Yes, so I am Tamika Jones. I work for AARP, and I am one of the directors of talent acquisition with the organization.
Wonderful. Thanks for being on with us.
And I am Tamara Thompson. I am Senior Talent Acquisition Operations Partner here at Delta Dental Insurance. And there is a difference because Delta Dental is a huge name, but our insurance company only has a few states. So when you look at Delta Dental as a whole, we are a big brand, but our company is a smaller entity of its own.
Interesting. I love that. So this was our first ops meeting of the year. It was a full house. We did some exercises. We had some presentations, a little open dialogue in the end. So what was there a big takeaway? Was something that resonated with you amongst the 40 so odd companies that were on?
Yes. So I will, if you don't mind.
Sure.
My big takeaway was around automation. We're actually getting ready to transition to a new applicant tracking system. And one of the things that I heard around the pre-boarding piece of what BASF they're doing is around the technology. We have such a pain point of ensuring that individuals have what they need for day one. So one of the things that I was thinking about when I think about a bot, something that can help with the documentation collection and all of the things that you need to ensure that the candidates have everything they need for day one. That's one of the things that I took away as writing that down. We've got to explore that more because that is a huge pain point for us. And it really impacts what we saw in some of our quality hire and not quality hire, but candidate new hire satisfaction scores was around onboarding. And so we want to be able to ensure that that's where we have our greatest opportunities. So we want to ensure that we're kind of focusing on that. And so that, being able to incorporate some types of bots in would be great for us in improving our process.
And to piggyback off what Tamika just mentioned, one thing that got my HR ears perked up was, you're compliant with these bots and with these, things that they're putting in place, these automation tools that they're putting in place. It is making you 100% compliant, which to any HR person, you're going to think, really? Okay, sign me up, because there is so much legality that goes with our roles. Every little thing that we do can be scrutinized and can be up for audit at the end of each year. And so to have something that is really putting your company and your role, who you are, in compliant, sign me up.
Yes. And another thing on that is when I started to think about what the recruiters complain about the most is around the administrative tasks that they have to do. And there's a lot of administrative things that they have to do in order to ensure onboarding is facilitated properly, when really we don't really own onboarding. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things that we don't even own it, but yet it's still like if something goes wrong, well, guess who they call? Talent acquisition. Exactly. Because it was part of the process with them coming on board. So as I thought about it, I thought about what ways can we make the recruiter's job easier? How can we then improve the scores? All of those various different things are very kind of came to mind. Sure.
Yeah, and allowing them to do what they were hired for. Exactly. Recruiters are hired because they are a gem. They can find that needle in the haystack. And to bog them down with all these administrative tasks, it's not enabling them to do what they do best. And that's what they're paid for. And we need to enable them to do that.
Yeah, Yeah, don't hate me, but my big takeaway, I really think Kate and Tony from BASF sort of stole the topical show with the work they've done. I think it was UiPath was the name of the service that they had used. But what was fascinating to me, the sheer savings that they're able to account for man hours, right? You're talking about almost a $50,000 a year savings and an optimization piece that was put in. Yet at sort of the tail end of the meeting, the number one thing we all thought we would have automated by now, which was scheduling, is something that no one has managed to conquer. So we've got these massive processes and bots and automation in place now that are already showing great returns. But the scheduling that we all thought was going to be the easiest thing to get done 2 years ago is what everyone is still struggling with.
Yeah, and I actually captured that as well because we've been talking about it. And again, the big challenges come, and I made note of it. Hiring manager buy-in. There's so many different types of interviews. Who handles the interview schedules? So we have some hiring managers where admins manage their schedules, and then some where no one manages them at all. So it's that working through all of those various different nuances. That has truly been one of the things that we've thought about as well.
Absolutely. And I have to say that in our breakout, I was on the technology breakout. I did ask them for, who they use for scheduling tools. And one that came up, Lockheed Martin uses Paradox. And they said that they really, really enjoy that. And then another one that was thrown out as a more kind of on your own, not a huge cost to it, was Calendly. So I think that's just more on your own versus a whole company-wide tool. But good to throw out there as well. But I do think we would be doing ourselves a disjustice if we don't talk about what Jennifer talked about from Spectrum. I was pinging her while she was talking. I'm like, can I have your email address? We need to talk after this call. I need more information, because she made mention of being more intentional with candidates. And really, that's what we all need to do. We want them to have that experience. We want them to leave an interview, even if they don't get it, we want them to leave knowing that they were valued, that their time was taken seriously, and seeing Delta Dental in a great light.
Yeah.
And so with them putting that I don't think it would work for everyone because they are such a huge organization and they do a ton of hiring. But with the automation that they put in place, where people can go to their career site and take this 10-minute survey showing them what their interests may be that they don't know about, and really highlighting different roles. I think that's pretty darn cool, because for us, we struggle to hire enough people in our call center because you're constantly hiring. So to put this survey tool and kind of direct it in a certain way, it's pretty neat. And then you're getting the diversity that you want. You're getting the gender that you want in those roles, which I thought was pretty darn neat.
Yeah, I do think it's pretty neat as well, just because we're asking recruiters to do so much with whether there's so many different things that takes them out of their day-to-day of doing sourcing, and how do we keep candidates engaged, and how do we do these things now with implementing something like that? That's a new way of maybe taking additional things off of our plate and allowing it to be automated to actually do that. So that I did find that very interesting. I did find it maybe as challenging, maybe a bit more challenging to implement in our organization, but definitely one that I wrote down as something to consider. How will we utilize it? Let's unpack it a little bit more for sure.
Yeah, I think what will be very interesting, there'll be two big ones that are going to come out of that, I predict. So when they go live externally, I think they're going to be able to point a lot of people to jobs that they wouldn't have already thought of, right? The idea that they go through this short survey and then jobs get recommended to them that they may not have thought that they would have been a match for. I think that's going to be a big deal. But, Tim, to your point, I think there is an element of feeling heard that the candidate desires, right? To feel validated and that what I'm looking for. And I had the chance to explain and display my skills and my abilities to you in a way that is fair, right? And there's that perception of fairness and that perception of being heard that I think will really resonate with the candidates that take the time to go through it. It's pretty powerful.
Well, and she made mention that they were just going through a new career site, and we're doing that same thing. So I was like, I am reaching out to you. I need to know how you failed and where you did good, because I don't want to make those mistakes, and I want to piggyback off your successes. So I loved that it was just the different breakouts. It was warm. It was inviting. It was very, we were laughing. It was just a family environment, and yet we'd never met these people before. So I loved that. It made me wish we were in person, because I'm like, I want to go have a drink with you guys.
Yes, and I must admit, I do miss What the Duck.
Oh, we haven't done.
I gotta find a way to do a virtual What the Duck. So
that's a good call out. I forgot. I have bags and bags and bags of ducks sitting around and just have not. We have to figure out a virtual With the Duck.
Yes, let's figure that out.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I want to thank both of you so much, not just for doing a quick recap with us, but also just, your involvement and just the way you lean in and contribute so much to the community, because that's what we are. We are truly a community, and you are our work family. And so we just really appreciate both of you, and thanks for making the meetings a success.
Awesome.
Thanks
for having us.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening to the CXR channel. Please subscribe to CXR on your favorite podcast resource and leave us a review while you're at it. Learn more about CXR at our website, cxr.works, facebook.com and twitter.com/careercrossroads, and on Instagram @careerxroads. We'll catch you next time.